Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our /JustNoMil. In today's episode, MIL is hurt, confused, and upset. We decided to send our twins to a regular kindergarten. She and FIL are coming over to talk. MIL bought our wedding venue because we put her on an info diet. MIL told me baby shower isn't for me. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. MIL is hurt, confused, and upset. We decided to send our twins to a regular kindergarten. She and FIL are coming over to talk. DH and I are new parents. We have twins currently in preschool, and they'll be starting kindergarten next year in September. I want to preface this by saying MIL hates the preschool the twins attend because it's more play-based than the one she tried to force us into sending our children. We're glad we stood our ground because our twins have really thrived at their preschool and become more confident. MIL threw a fit when she found out through SIL. I'll never tell her anything again, that we'd be sending our twins to a regular kindergarten next year. Instead of the snobby one MIL has been dropping not so casually mentioning, she accused me, not her precious 31-year-old baby, of not caring about our children's future and their religion because the kindergarten they're going to is secular and has an age-appropriate syllabus. We obviously do care about their education as we've made sure the syllabus is appropriate for 4-year-olds. We also asked people who sent their kids to the kindergarten what they thought, and they all praised it. They claimed their kids were well prepared for primary school after leaving the kindergarten. We explained this to MIL, and she used the religious argument. They go to church every Sunday. I'm sure going to this kindergarten won't magically turn them into atheists. MIL cried when we said we wouldn't be changing our minds about kindergarten. Instead of moving on, she sent this in the WhatsApp family group chat. At BILs, SILs, cousin-in-laws, etc. who sent your children to fancy kindergarten, can you please tell OP and DH about the benefits of sending the twins to this kindergarten? Can you please tell them how tough it is to get into private primary to secondary school? We already told her we're not sending our twins. Thank you, dears. Love you lots. Red heart, red heart, red heart, red heart, red heart, red heart, red heart. I responded, no need everyone. Smiling face with halo. The twins are going to another private school we heard good things about, so they don't need to go to this kindergarten. We want them to keep having fun at school like they are now ex Red Heart. DH quoted my response and said, the kindergarten and primary school we picked for the win. MIL obviously lost her mind reading this and contacted everyone privately to complain about our decision for our kids. They're going to the primary school we picked as a compromise. I wanted them to go to my public school, but it's not as good as it was back then. MIL nearly burst into flames when I mentioned public school, lol. Anyways, MIL, AILs, and FIL are coming over to see the twins, and so FIL doesn't have to deal with her and her sisters whining and talking about this topic anymore. Not sure how to handle this because all I can think of is laughing in their faces right now. The only relevant opinion on where children attend school is that of their parents. This meeting doesn't need to happen. These are not her kids and therefore, not her decision. Full stop. Stop entertaining her insanity with responses because you all shouldn't change your minds, and it doesn't mean she will change hers either. Stand your ground. The solution is no, they aren't coming over to bully you about the school you're sending your kids to. You shouldn't even entertain such a visit. Honestly, there is absolutely nothing to discuss here. You are the parents, not her. This is your decisions, not hers. Cancel the meeting. This isn't up for discussion, and she has absolutely no right to discuss or be upset. She has her opinion. You listened and then told her what you as parents decided. End of story. Shut this down without any family intervention. Otherwise, this will be happening every single time you make a decision that doesn't align with hers. Not up for discussion. Full stop. Refuse to discuss it. You are their parents and don't need to run this past them by any means. MIL bought our wedding venue because we put her on an info diet. We started wedding planning this year, and we're hoping to get married on our 4th anniversary. At first I or DH would tell MIL and everyone else how everything was going, but we quickly stopped that. She was getting on my nerves. Everything I'd tell her about the wedding would be met with something along the lines of, "Oh dear, no. our family doesn't do that. Instead, I decided to stop telling her everything when she said this in response to my uncle's doing a braai, barbecue, and a few other things my family does during weddings. DH suggested the braai because he enjoys them and his guests are all from our country, so he wants them to experience something different at a wedding. He told her this and refused to compromise, so she pouted about it. MIL also tried to change was the guest list. She tried to bully and bribe our wedding planner's assistants into adding 50 random people to our wedding. When I confronted her, she said she knew I'd shoot it down and not compromise with her, so I told her, "It's my wedding. I don't have to compromise with you. The only person I will compromise with is DH." So she started crying, and when she saw that didn't work, she used our interaction to paint me as the angry black woman stereotype. I just reminded her whose wedding it was. DH confronted her about this obviously, and MIL apologized. But it was an "I'm sorry you feel that way" apology. I decided to leave it in the past, and DH suggested we not tell her anything at all so she won't interfere. How can she if she doesn't know what's going on? We also put DH's aunts and one of his sisters on an info diet too. So far it's worked for us, and planning has been fun but tiring. MIL cornered me at her own daughter's engagement party and asked why my mom got to be involved and she didn't. MIL called my mom before I told her we put MIL on an info diet. I explained to MIL my mom is involved in the wedding because she doesn't try to control anything. She's just there if we've got questions. My mom's not actively involved in the wedding planning, nor is she having her friends go see my wedding planner under the guise of parties, so they can ask her for the snoop in return for being hired. MIL denied doing this. These ladies have had the same event planners for ages. Why are they now suddenly interested in my wedding planner when they haven't even seen what she can do yet or looked at her past work with other clients? MIL is whining because she thinks I'm using my magic vagina to control DH. Oh yeah, at the party she accused me of making it my wedding instead of our, assuming me and DH, wedding when that's not the case. I explained to Mil DH is busier than I am and always traveling, so he's not at every meeting with our wedding planner, but I always discuss with him when he gets home. FIL's company really bought my wedding venue and now it's unavailable for our wedding date and we're getting a full refund. FIL told DH, "Talk to your mother," and hung up. Aunt-in-law let it slip that we'll get the venue back if we include MIL in our wedding planning. I don't get why she's so obsessed with our wedding. MIL's daughter is getting married and SIL deeply craves her mother's approval, evidenced by her leaking things to MIL. So why doesn't MIL just plan her wedding? Well, because according to BIL's wife, MIL is a you-boy mom. So her not being involved in her precious baby boy's wedding is killing her. MIL only has 3 boys. Guys, this venue is something of dreams. DH loves it because both our families like to play sports at parties, so there's ample room for that. I love it because there are enough rooms for everyone to stay the night, so no drunk driving, and also not as expensive as I thought it would be. But dealing with MIL though. So MIL is now the smug owner of the venue, has canceled OP's booking, and the cost to rebook is apparently access to any and all wedding info and, probably, final say in many of the wedding plans and preparations.
Miljoen is insane.
Find a new venue. Continue her very limited flow of info or cut it, and her, off completely. And remember this time when you're pregnant. If she's this nuts with over the wedding of her son, she's going to go even more off the rails when he has babies. And I say his babies because she sees you as a roadblock to be handled. And she sees your fiancé as her son, not your husband. Remember this and decide how you want your life to proceed and what you want your life to look like and what you want the life of your children to look like. This woman is ready for battle and clearly has few limitations she's willing to toe. You are currently setting a precedent. Make sure it's one you're happy living with. I would plan for a different venue, but I'd also let slip it every single person. I talked to that I had planned for X venue, but my in-laws bought it to blackmail me into doing things their way. Reputations are something that can't be bought and are hard to repair. Elope, and that will seriously piss her off, and then she's sitting on owning a venue that does nothing for her. Elope. She's batshit crazy. Your best revenge is for the 2 of you to get married without her and her stress. MIL told me baby shower isn't for me. My baby shower is planned for July. This whole time I've had no say in anything when it comes to her. It's all about what she wants. My fiancé ended up telling her she's being overbearing. She threw a fit and said she was done planning it. She'll just show up. That was until yesterday. I work with SIL, an SIL childhood friend. MIL works across the street, so she'll come in for a few and say hi to us. She came up to me and said, "This baby shower isn't for or about you. It's for my grandbaby. I'm booking it at venue, and if you don't like what I have planned, too bad." I was shocked. All the girls I work with were also shocked. SL told me she'll talk to my mom, and the three of us can come up with something together. I jokingly told SIL watch me not show up to what MIL has planned. My mom, SIL and I are now going to throw a separate shower. Even though this baby was planned, I honestly haven't been excited. This pregnancy has been rough. I've honestly been sad, and MIL isn't helping. She's making it worse by things she's done/said over the past 5 months. I'm eventually going to snap and tell her this baby isn't her baby, but I've been trying hard to keep the peace. Told fiancé yesterday I'm done with his mom though, and I genuinely don't want to see her. BC of her, I'm not telling anyone when I'm in labor, and I don't even want her at the hospital. We got into it last week because she said she's going to pay the hospital photographer for pictures. I told her my best friend does newborn photos for a living, and she told me she'll do it. MIL shut that down and said she's getting the ones at the hospital. I don't want those, honestly. I'd rather wait a week and take her to my trusted friend's house where I know they'll be beautiful. It's like she's taken control of my baby already, and I absolutely hate it. I'm loathing my pregnancy. I hate going to work and seeing her. I don't know what to do or how to go about it. My fiancé said I can quit work whenever I want, but I want to keep going for at least another month or two, but I dread seeing her just for the short time she pops in. ETA. I appreciate all the advice/comments I've gotten, and because of that I'm going to start putting my foot down. I have an OB appointment next week and will be telling her about MIL and how I absolutely don't want her there while I'm in the hospital, or a photographer taking pictures of my baby. I will not be attending the shower. She's clearly throwing herself. Someone also said something about grandparents' rights, which is something I think she'd look into. From what I've read so far, in Florida, grandparents' rights are granted under specific circumstances. I'll be reading about this further. The evil part of me would buy her a newborn doll to wear all the clothes she gets at her shower and for her photo shoot. I have no useful suggestion. I'm sorry she sucks. I'm so sorry, OP. Put your foot down ASAP. The in-laws were over in my hospital room constantly and SDBXH never notified me. I was mortified when I had my hospital gown on, hunched from the bathroom to see my FIL in my room to comment about how shitty I looked. MIL threw a baby shower and she planned everything. When I objected, SDBXH told me to do it for her, play the game, and participate in her show. None of my family could make it, and she kept encouraging me to socialize when her and her shitty son essentially told me that I was a bad person, LOL. They gave me a huge stack of thank you cards to send to the guests and I had to write a heartfelt message for each. I hid that shit under the bed. Save yourself, your sanity, and remember it's your baby. I totally get you. My MIL hosted a gender reveal without me, and my husband was stupid enough to go along with it to keep the peace. This is the time to have a serious chat with your spouse and lay down your own boundaries regarding you and baby. Being a grandparent is a privilege, not a right. She basically disinvited you? I bet she won't send you an invite, and you'll be able to say you clearly weren't invited. Use your energy to document every hostile thing she says and anything she has said or done to show a court she is an unsafe person. That way you will have a standing record in your back pocket if you need to pull it out. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.